Over the last decade, many changes have taken place in Ecuador regarding education. A new president was elected in 2006, and as a result, a new constitution was approved in 2008. This new constitution offers educational opportunities to all Ecuadorians, which establishes a framework of rights where the education is defined as a right of the people throughout his life. Education is an inescapable and inexcusable duty of the state that should be prioritized both in definition of public policy and in state investment. It has also been established that the state must guarantee without discrimination the enjoyment of the right to education, promoting universal access, permanence, mobility, and graduation without any discrimination.
In addition, it was established that education should focus on human being and its holistic development, with the framework of respect for human rights, the environment, and democracy. This is why its character is defined as participatory, mandatory, intercultural, democratic, inclusive, diverse, and of quality. Must drive equity, gender, justice, solidarity, and peace, stimulating the synchronism, art, and physical culture, individual and community initiative, and development and competencies and capacities to create and work, recognizing and respecting the rights of community people, the national to bilingual intercultural education.
So, how is categorized the formal education in Ecuador? Well, formal education is categorized into 4 levels: a pre-primary, secondary school, and higher education. Preschool corresponds from 3 to 5 years of age of the child and constitutes a non-compulsory part of education, in many cases considered as a part of early development. Initial or preschool education is the process of accompanying the integral development of children under 5 of 8. And its objective is to exchange their learning and promote their well-being through meaningful and time experience that take place in simulating healthy and safe environments. Primary correspond from first years of basic. Usually children around 5 years old are enrolled up to 10 years of basic at the age of 14 years. These education levels allow the student to develop capacity to communicate, to interpret and solve problems, and to understand natural and social life. Secondary school. It is the specialization that takes place after 10 years of basic education and before higher education. This can be physical, mathematical, chemical, biological, social science, and arts. They are colored from first to third years. Their students then graduate with the name of bachelor in their specialization.
Higher education. Higher education, also called post-secondary education, third level, or tertiary education, is an optional final stage of formal learning that occurs after completion of secondary education. The government's evaluation process created a significant hold in the traditional autonomy of universities. Ecuador's efforts to improve higher education. However, the progress of higher education in Ecuador seems to be out of control because external economic and political forces have changed the characteristics, emphasis, curriculum and student population of most public institutions. Certainly, the series of the education, political, and economic agents have resulted in new goals, priorities, and mission for public universities. New academic and economic models had to become important to the higher education system. Extreme and financial constraints have challenged the traditional rights of public higher education. Reform has been difficult and it is not likely to fortunately equalize university entrance. Perhaps the greatest problem is one that is seen in many countries. Badges were not compensated when enrollment increases occurred.
As we said before, Ecuador has introduced significant reforms and has made important investment in the education sector, which have gone hand in hand with improvement in education access and quality. Nevertheless, Ecuador's education system still has challenges in address. Learning gaps between region and ethnic group continue to be substantial. Education quality displays important deficiencies, and investment in higher education have not yet contributed to improve laboral productivity. The system needs to assure that education policies and programs are adequately monitored, evaluated, and aligned with education quality and learning. Sustaining some of the policy choices implemented in recent years will put substantial pressure to the country's budget in the medium term due to the country's new fiscal situation. In such context, the government will need the promote more efficient and equalitative expenditures on education and priority investment on policies that are proved to be most effective. Thank you for your listening.